The message arrived without warning. It did not come from a ship. It did not pass through normal channels. It appeared at the same time on every major station, every defense satellite, and every deep space relay humanity owned. 1 second, space was quiet. The next second, the stars blinked. Across Earth's skies, above cities and oceans, a single massive symbol formed in light. It was older than humanity, older than most spacefaring species. The symbol of the Galactic Council. Every government on Earth froze. Every military command center went silent. The summons had come. In the history of the galaxy, no species ignored a summons from the Galactic Council. The Council did not ask twice. It did not negotiate. It judged. Some species had answered and returned broken. Some had answered and never returned at all. Humanity had known this day might come. Still, when it finally did, the weight of it pressed down like gravity. The message was simple. Humanity of soul. You are summoned. Present your representatives before the Council. Your expansion and actions will be reviewed. Your future will be decided. No threat. No anger. That made it worse. Deep inside Earth's unified command station, leaders gathered in a secure chamber. Military officers, scientists, diplomats. No one spoke loudly. Even whispers felt dangerous. Humanity had expanded quickly in recent years. They had colonized faster than expected. They had defended smaller species from pirate fleets. They had refused to bow to older empires. Some called it bravery. Others called it arrogance. Now the galaxy would decide. Do we send a fleet? One general asked. No, a diplomat replied. If we send ships, they will call it aggression. Then we send a full delegation, another suggested. Silence filled the room. Then an older woman at the head of the table spoke calmly. We send 3. The room turned toward her. Only 3 representatives. No fleet. No escort. No weapons beyond standard law. That will make us look weak, someone argued. She shook her head. No. It will show we are not afraid. The news spread across Earth within hours. 3 humans would stand before the most powerful gathering in the galaxy. No army behind them. No shield around them. Just 3. People watched the stars that night with fear and pride mixed together. They did not know if those 3 would ever return. The Galactic Council chamber floated in deep space, far from any single empire. It was enormous, larger than many cities. Its outer structure shimmered with ancient metal and light. Inside, thousands of delegates filled tier after tier of curved seating. Species of every shape and size watched in silence. Some were tall and thin with glowing skin. Some were armored and heavy. Some moved like flowing shadows. Most of them agreed on one thing. Humans were young. Humans were reckless. Humans were unpredictable. And that made them dangerous. The chamber doors opened. The sound echoed across the massive hall. 3 humans walked inside. They wore simple dark uniforms. No medals. No bright colors. No visible fear. The first was a middle-aged man with calm eyes and steady steps. The second was a woman with sharp focus in her gaze. The third was younger, but her posture was straight and confident. They did not rush. They did not bow. They walked to the center platform and stopped. Above them, a massive ring of light activated. Holograms of stars and planets rotated slowly in the air. Whispers moved through the chamber. That is all they sent. Only 3. Do they not understand where they stand? One alien delegate laughed softly. Another tilted its head in curiosity. At the highest level of the chamber, the Central Council members observed without emotion. Ancient beings who had ruled galactic law for thousands of cycles. A deep voice filled the air. Representatives of humanity, you stand before the Galactic Council. The sound vibrated through the floor. You have expanded beyond your assigned sectors. You have interfered in conflicts not your own. You have built fleets larger than permitted for a species of your age. The chamber grew colder. You have been called to answer. The 3 humans remained silent. The council voice continued. Many species believed you would come with warships. Others believed you would refuse. Instead, you come with 3. A pause. Explain. For a long moment, the humans did not speak. The silence stretched. Delegates shifted in their seats. The younger woman finally stepped forward slightly. Her voice was clear. We came because you called. Nothing more. Murmurs filled the chamber. The council lights dimmed slightly. You understand that this session will determine humanity's future among the stars. The middle-aged man nodded once. Yes. If found in violation, your expansion will end. Your fleets will be reduced. Your influence will be restricted. Still, the humans showed no fear. From the far side of the chamber, one powerful alien species representative leaned forward. And if we judge humanity too dangerous, it added coldly, you may be contained. That word echoed. Contained. The chamber grew silent again. Billions of lives rested on this moment. The third human finally spoke. Her voice was calm. We understand the risk. The council lights brightened, signaling the formal beginning of judgment. Then this session begins now. Around them, screens activated. Records appeared. Reports of human activity. Battles. Treaties. Expansion maps. The galaxy had been watching. And now it would decide. The 3 humans stood alone in the center of power. No fleet. No weapons. No backup. Only quiet confidence. And somewhere in the chamber, a few older species began to feel something unexpected. Not fear. Not anger. But doubt. Because the 3 humans did not look like a species on trial. They looked like a species that had prepared for this day. And the galaxy was about to learn why. The council chamber felt heavier after the judgment began. Light shifted across the curved walls as ancient systems activated. Records flowed through the air, human colonies, fleet movements, battle footage, diplomatic exchanges. Every action humanity had taken beyond its home system floated openly for all to see. The 3 humans stood still at the center platform. They did not look away. Across the chamber, alien delegates leaned forward. Some studied the data with sharp interest. Others watched the humans themselves, searching for weakness. A tall delegate from the Varn coalition spoke first. Its voice was slow and cold. Humanity has existed among the stars for less than 200 cycles, it said. Yet your expansion rivals empires 10 times your age. The hologram shifted, showing glowing human settlements across multiple sectors. This pace is not natural, the Varn continued. It is aggressive. Murmurs followed. Another delegate, wide and armored, struck the floor with a heavy limb. You build warships faster than most of us, it growled. You claim defense, yet your fleets appear wherever conflict rises. The chamber lights dimmed slightly. The middle-aged human listened without reaction. The woman beside him folded her hands calmly. The younger one watched the council members carefully. A new voice joined in, smooth and mocking. You call yourselves protectors, said a sleek avian species representative. Yet protection is often the excuse of conquerors. Several delegates nodded. The accusations continued. Human trade routes interfering with older empires. Human ships refusing inspection. Human commanders acting without council approval. Each charge added weight to the air. At last, one of the central council members raised a hand. Silence returned instantly. Humanity, the ancient voice said. You have been patient. Now you may respond. The chamber turned its full attention to the 3 figures. The humans did not rush. The middle-aged man took one slow step forward. We hear your concerns, he said evenly. But your records are incomplete. The word echoed. Incomplete. A ripple of reaction spread through the chamber. The armored delegate growled softly. You question the council's records? No, the human replied. We question your interpretation. The council did not interrupt. That alone shocked many. The human gestured toward the holograms. You see our fleets, he continued, but you do not ask why they were there. The image changed. A distant system appeared. Broken stations. Burning debris. That system would have fallen to raiders, the human said. No council fleet responded. The chamber stirred. Another image followed. A small alien world under attack. Human ships defending evacuation corridors. That world still exists because we chose to act. The avian delegate's feathers shifted uneasily. The armored species leaned back slightly. The younger human stepped forward now. "You say we interfere," she said. "But you forget how many times you chose not to." A sharp intake of breath rippled through the chamber. A central council member spoke again. "You imply neglect." "We state fact," the woman replied calmly. The lights dimmed further as more records appeared. Distress calls unanswered, delayed responses, political debates while worlds burned. The humans did not raise their voices. They did not accuse with anger. They simply showed evidence. Still, resistance remained. A towering insect-like delegate clicked sharply. "You speak boldly for a species under judgment," it said. "Boldness does not grant authority." The middle-aged human met its gaze. "No," he said. "Preparation does." That word landed heavily. Preparation. A pause followed. The insect delegate recoiled slightly. The council chamber fell quiet again. At last, a voice from the highest tier spoke, older, deeper, and far more dangerous. "Humanity," the ancient counselor said, "your words do not erase your risk." The hologram shifted to human military expansion, shipyards, weapons, training fleets. "You grow stronger without permission." The younger human nodded once. "Yes." That single word caused an uproar. Delegates shouted. Some rose from their seats. Others hissed in anger. The counselor raised its hand again. Silence returned. "You admit this freely?" it asked. "We do," the woman replied. The counselor's voice hardened. "Then you admit potential threat." The middle-aged human did not deny it. "We admit potential," he said. "Not intent." A sharp pause followed. "You expect us to trust that difference?" the counselor asked. The human looked around the chamber, at ancient empires, powerful fleets, long histories of conquest hidden behind law. "We expect you to remember your own past," he said quietly. That struck deeper than any weapon. Many delegates looked away. They remembered. The counselor studied the humans carefully. "Your response is controlled," it said. "Too controlled for a species afraid of judgment." The human did not answer. The counselor continued. "Why send only 3? This time, the humans exchanged a brief glance. The younger woman spoke. "Because we did not come to threaten." "Then why come at all?" the counselor pressed. The middle-aged human lifted his head. "Because what comes next will not ask permission." The words chilled the chamber. "What do you mean?" the counselor demanded. Before the human could answer, alarms flickered faintly across the chamber systems. Not loud, not urgent, just enough to be noticed. The chamber's massive displays glitched for a fraction of a second. Several delegates stiffened. The counselor's eyes narrowed. "What have you done?" it asked sharply. The human did not smile. "Nothing," he said. "But something is about to be revealed." The lights dimmed further. Data began to surface on its own. Unknown signals. Dark regions of space. Patterns the council did not recognize. The galaxy had been watching humanity, but humanity had been watching something else. And the council was about to learn that judgment was no longer one-sided. The council chamber did not move. It felt as if the entire structure was holding its breath. The unknown data continued to scroll across the massive displays. Star maps shifted. Regions once marked as empty now glowed with warning symbols. Lines of movement appeared where no fleets were supposed to exist. Alien delegates whispered among themselves. The counselor studied the screens with narrowed eyes. "These records," it said slowly, "are not from council systems." The middle-aged human nodded. "They are ours." That answer caused a wave of reaction. "Impossible," one delegate hissed. "Your sensors cannot reach that far." The younger human spoke calmly. "They can now." The hologram expanded outward, showing a dark region beyond known space. No colonies. No trade routes. Only silence. "This region has been quiet for centuries," the counselor said. "There is nothing there." The woman-human lifted her hand slightly. "That is what we believed too," she said, until our explorers stopped returning. The chamber grew colder. The displays shifted again. Wreckage appeared, human ships torn apart, metal twisted as if crushed by invisible force. These vessels were not destroyed by pirates, the middle-aged human said, and not by any known empire. The armored delegate leaned forward. Then by what? The human did not answer immediately. Instead, the records changed. Footage appeared, brief, damaged, but clear enough. A shadow moving through space without engines. No heat. No signal. Just absence. Several delegates recoiled. "That violates known physics," one whispered. The human nodded. "So did we," he said. "Once." The counselor's voice cut through the chamber. "You show us a threat without name or origin," it said. "Why bring this now?" The younger woman stepped forward. "Because it is coming closer," she said. "And because your defenses will not stop it." That statement shook the chamber. "You presume too much," the counselor replied sharply. The woman did not back down. "We tested your defensive doctrines," she said simply. A sharp intake of breath rippled through the delegates. The counselor's eyes narrowed. "Explain." The holograms shifted again. Simulations appeared, council fleets forming standard formations, shields rising, weapons charging. Then the shadows moved. The fleets vanished. Not destroyed. Gone. Silence followed. The avian delegate's voice trembled slightly. "This is manipulation." "It is prediction," the middle-aged human said. The insect delegate clicked in agitation. "You expect us to accept this without proof?" The human raised his hand. "Then allow us to show you our history." The counselor hesitated, then nodded once. "Proceed." The lights dimmed further as new records appeared, not of space, but of Earth. Early human cities. Fires. Wars. Collapse. The delegates watched as humanity destroyed itself again and again. "This is not strength," one muttered. "Keep watching," the human replied. The footage continued. Humanity rebuilding, learning, failing, adapting. Each disaster followed by growth. Plagues, asteroid impacts, global wars. Humanity survived them all. "We did not inherit peace," the woman said. "We built it. Again and again." The images shifted to humanity's first contact with alien life. Fear, confusion, restraint. Then to their early space wars, short, brutal, and costly. "We learned quickly," the younger human added. "Never fight fair. Never fight unprepared." That phrase unsettled many. The footage advanced. Human scientists testing weapons, not to use but to understand limits. Human commanders simulating defeat over and over. Human fleets training for enemies that did not yet exist. "You call us dangerous," the middle-aged human said. "You are correct." The chamber stiffened. "But you mistake why." The displays changed again. Human fleets standing down after victories, offering aid instead of conquest. "We do not seek domination," the human continued. "We seek survival." The counselor watched in silence. "For centuries," the woman said, "you ruled because no one challenged you. You became comfortable." The words stung. "We could not afford comfort," the younger human said. "Our world taught us that comfort kills." The chamber was quiet now. Even the loudest delegates said nothing. The counselor spoke at last. "You claim this unknown threat endangers us all," it said. "Yet only you detected it." "Yes," the human replied. "Because we look where others do not." "Why?" the counselor asked. The middle-aged human answered, without hesitation. "Because we expect the worst." The shadow on the display pulsed again, closer now. "Your council rules by law," the woman said. "We respect that. But law does not stop extinction." The insect delegate shifted uneasily. "What do you want?" it asked. The humans exchanged another glance. The younger woman spoke. "We want you to listen." "To what?" the avian delegate demanded. "To a warning," the middle-aged human said. The counselor leaned forward. "And if we refuse?" The human's voice remained calm. then humanity will still act. That answer sent shock through the chamber. You would defy the council? The armored delegate growled. No, the human said. We would defend ourselves, and those we can reach. The counselor studied the three humans for a long time. You came prepared, it said finally. Yes, the woman replied. And you did not come to ask permission. No, the younger human said. We came to give time. The alarms flickered again, stronger this time. Several delegates turned toward the displays in fear. The shadow moved closer. The counselor straightened. This session is no longer theoretical, it said. The humans stood quietly. They had delivered the truth. Now, the galaxy had to decide what to do with it. And for the first time in 1,000 cycles, the Galactic Council felt unprepared. The council chamber no longer felt untouchable. The shadow on the hologram moved again. Slowly, steadily. Each movement brought it closer to known space. The displays adjusted automatically, highlighting possible future paths. Several of those paths led directly through major council territories. The ancient counselor watched in silence. This data, it said carefully, has been verified? The middle-aged human nodded. By multiple systems. Independent confirmation. No shared bias. The counselor turned its gaze toward other council members. They exchanged signals of concern. For the first time, the Galactic Council was not united. A sleek delegate spoke, its voice sharp. If this threat is real, why has it not attacked already? The younger human answered. It studies first, she said. So, did we once. That comparison made many uncomfortable. The hologram shifted again. This time it showed human fleets, but not gathered, not aggressive. They were spread out, hidden, watching. These ships, the armored delegate said, are positioned near council borders. Yes, the woman-human replied. And far beyond them. The chamber stirred. You placed fleets without permission, a delegate accused. The middle-aged human did not deny it. We placed observers, he said, with orders not to engage. Until when? The counselor asked. Until necessary. That answer carried weight. The hologram zoomed out further, revealing something else. Small human stations, barely detectable, hidden in deep space. Listening posts. Sensor webs. Data relays. You built this in secret, the insect delegate said. We built it quietly, the human corrected. Because loud preparations attract attention. Attention from what? The thought lingered unspoken. The counselor's voice was low now. You prepared for a war you did not announce. Yes, the younger human said. Because announcing it would cause panic. Several delegates shifted. The counselor raised a hand, signaling focus. What you show us changes much, it said. But it does not explain your confidence. The human met its gaze. Then allow us to explain our doctrine. The council hesitated, then nodded. Proceed. The hologram shifted to Earth again. Human history flashed by quickly, wars, losses, victories, mistakes. Our species learned one lesson early, the woman said. Peace is temporary. The delegates listened closely now. When danger appears, the middle-aged human continued, it is already too late to start preparing. Images showed human simulations, countless scenarios of defeat. We train for loss, the younger human said. Because loss teaches more than victory. The chamber was silent. You built fleets for enemies that did not exist, the avian delegate said. Yes, the human replied. Because they always arrive eventually. The hologram changed again. This time, it showed projections of the shadow's possible future movements. Every model where council fleets responded alone ended the same way. Failure. But when human tactics were added, unpredictable formations, layered defenses, sacrifice maneuvers, the outcomes changed. Not victory. Survival. The counselor leaned forward. You are not offering triumph, it said. You are offering endurance. The human nodded. That is how wars are truly won. The armored delegate let out a low sound. You would bleed the enemy. Yes, the woman said. Until it cannot continue. The counselor was quiet for a long time. Then it asked the question many feared. Why show us this now? The younger human answered softly. Because the first confirmed breach occurred 6 cycles ago. The chamber erupted. Voices rose. Systems flickered. Panic spread. The counselor slammed its staff against the platform. Silence. The noise died quickly. Where? It demanded. The human pointed. A small system appeared on the display. A minor trade hub. Recently gone silent. Council records labeled it as a navigation failure. The humans labeled it differently. Contact lost, the middle-aged human said. No debris. No survivors. No signals. The chamber felt cold. You concealed this? A delegate accused. We investigated quietly, the woman said. Your procedures would have delayed response. The counselor's eyes darkened. You judged our response insufficient. Yes. That was not your decision to make. The human's voice hardened slightly. Extinction does not wait for permission. That statement struck deep. The counselor straightened. You came to force our hand. No, the younger human said. We came to offer a choice. The hologram shifted once more. 2 paths appeared. One showed council fleets acting alone collapse. The other showed coordinated defense with human integration, costly but possible survival. You want partnership, the counselor said. We want cooperation, the human replied. There is a difference. The counselor studied the paths. And if we refuse? The human did not hesitate. Then humanity will still fight, he said. But not under your command. That answer shook the chamber. You would fracture the galaxy, a delegate warned. No, the woman said. The fracture already exists. We are trying to hold it together. The counselor looked at the 3 humans. You sent only 3, it said slowly.
Why?
The middle-aged human answered. Because fleets can be misread. Armies provoke fear. And 3? The counselor asked. 3 show intent, the human said. The shadow moved again on the display. Closer. The counselor raised its staff. This session will move to decision, it announced. The chamber fell silent. The galaxy had judged humanity. Now humanity was asking the galaxy to judge itself. And the galaxy was not prepared. The council chamber felt different now. The fear was no longer hidden. Delegates sat still, their movements slow and careful, as if sudden motion might make the threat arrive faster. The shadow on the display pulsed again, closer than before. Every system update made it clearer that time was running out. The ancient counselor raised its staff. This council has ruled for thousands of cycles, it said. We have faced wars, rebellions, and extinction-level threats. Its gaze swept across the chamber. But never this. The humans stood quietly. They had said what needed to be said. Now the galaxy had to respond. A delegate from one of the oldest empires rose. You ask us to trust a young species, it said sharply. One that grew too fast, armed too heavily, and ignored our authority. The middle-aged human met its gaze. We ask you to trust preparation, he said. Not age. The delegate clicked in irritation. Age brings wisdom. The woman-human answered calmly. Age brings habit. Wisdom comes from survival. That struck deep. Several delegates shifted. Another voice rose, trembling slightly. If this threat is real, a smaller species said, why have you not told the galaxy sooner? The younger human responded, because panic destroys unity faster than enemies do. The counselor watched carefully. You decided when we would know, it said. Yes, the human replied, because delay would have killed millions. The chamber was silent again. The counselor turned to the assembly. The choice before us is simple, it said. And terrible. The hologram displayed 2 paths again. One marked Council Authority Preserved. The other marked Joint Survival Command. To accept humanity's proposal, the counselor continued, is to share power. A low murmur spread. To reject it, the counselor said, is to risk standing alone. The ancient empires were not used to choosing between pride and survival. A powerful delegate rose, voice sharp with anger. We cannot allow humans to lead us. The middle-aged human raised his hand slightly. We are not asking to lead, he said. We are asking you not to stop us. That answer confused many. Explain, the counselor demanded. The woman stepped forward. We will fight, she said. With or without you. A shockwave of reaction moved through the chamber. But, she continued, if we fight alone, we will protect who we can reach. Not everyone. That truth hurt. The smaller species looked terrified. You would abandon us? One cried. The younger human shook her head. No, she said softly. We will die trying not to. But we are not infinite. The counselor closed its eyes briefly. You place a moral weapon before us, it said. No, the middle-aged human replied. Reality does. The debate exploded. Delegates shouted. Some demanded immediate unity. Others clung to authority. Ancient rivalries surfaced. Old grudges burned hot again. The shadow moved closer. A new alert flashed. A second system had gone silent. The chamber froze. This is escalating, the counselor said quietly. The displays showed the lost system, another minor outpost, erased without warning. The humans did not speak. They did not need to. The galaxy was learning in real time. The counselor straightened. Enough, it said. The noise died instantly. This council will vote. The words echoed like a final bell. One by one, council members signaled their choice. Some voted to preserve authority. Some voted for unity. The count moved slowly. Too slowly. The younger human whispered something to the others. The middle-aged human nodded. He stepped forward again. We cannot wait for a perfect decision, he said. The counselor looked at him sharply. You would interrupt a council vote? Yes, the human replied. Gasps echoed. The human continued. Our fleets are already moving. The chamber erupted. You defied us, a delegate shouted. No, the human said. We honored our promise. The counselor's voice was ice. You act without approval. Yes, the woman said. Because approval will come too late. The hologram shifted again. Human fleets appeared, not attacking, not invading, but positioning themselves along the projected path of the shadow. Defense lines. Sacrifice zones. Delay tactics. You are committing your forces before we decide, the counselor said. Yes, the middle-aged human replied. Because we decided long ago. The counselor studied him. And what did humanity decide? The human answered quietly. That we would not let the galaxy fall while we argued. Silence filled the chamber. The counselor closed its eyes again. When it opened them, something had changed. You leave us little choice, it said. The vote halted. The counselor raised its staff. By emergency authority, this council recognizes humanity as a strategic equal in galactic defense. Shock rippled through the chamber. Not ruler, the counselor added. Not master. The humans nodded. Equal, the counselor finished. The shadow pulsed again. Closer still. The counselor turned to the humans. You have what you asked for, it said. Now prove us right. The middle-aged human bowed his head slightly. We will, he said. The humans turned and walked toward the exit. Behind them, the galaxy reeled. Ahead of them, war waited. And for the first time in history, the Galactic Council followed humanity's lead. Not because humans demanded it, but because they were already fighting. The war did not begin with fire. It began with silence. Across the outer systems, long-range sensors detected movement. Not fast. Not loud. Just steady. The shadow no longer hid itself. It moved like a tide rolling in, slow, unstoppable, cold. Human fleets were already in position. They did not wait for perfect formation. They did not wait for full numbers. They moved according to plans written years ago. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, emergency command systems were active. For the first time in its long history, the Council was not giving orders alone. Human officers stood beside ancient alien commanders. Maps filled the air. Predictions shifted every second. Contact in outer perimeter, a Council technician announced. The first human defense line activated. It was not made of massive battleships. It was made of traps. Energy mines hidden in dark space. Drone swarms set to disrupt unknown signals. Layered shields built to collapse in sequence, slowing the enemy step by step. The shadow touched the first line. Space bent. Energy disappeared. Several mines simply vanished. But the enemy slowed. "That is impossible," an alien commander whispered. "No," the human officer beside him said calmly. "It is measurable." The second defense line engaged. Human ships moved in strange patterns, never straight, never predictable. They did not fire everything at once. They tested, measured, adapted. The shadow reacted. Where human ships struck, the darkness shifted. It learned. "So, it thinks," the alien commander said. "Yes," the human replied. "That makes it dangerous." The first human cruiser was lost. It did not explode. It folded inward and vanished. The bridge crew in the council chamber felt the silence that followed. But the human officers did not panic. "Adjust frequency," one ordered. "Deploy counterfield pattern 7. New signals pulsed outward. The shadow hesitated. Only for a second. But that second mattered. Across the galaxy, smaller species watched the battle through emergency broadcasts. Worlds that once feared humanity now saw something different. Humans were not hiding behind council shields. They were standing in front of them. The third defense line activated. This one included council fleets. For the first time, alien ships followed human tactical commands. "Hold formation," the human admiral said. The alien commanders obeyed. The shadow surged forward. Council ships fired in unison with human vessels. The combined energy lit up space brighter than a star. The shadow recoiled slightly. "Impact registered," a technician shouted. "It can be harmed," the alien commander breathed. "Yes," the human admiral said. "But not killed easily." The battle stretched for hours. Every time the shadow advanced, humanity gave ground, but never all at once. Every loss had purpose. Every retreat had design. "You are sacrificing territory," the counselor observed from the chamber. "Yes," the human representative answered. "Territory can be reclaimed. Existence cannot." Another wave hit. More ships vanished. Alien crews began to fear. But human voices remained steady. "Focus. Adjust. Continue." The shadow began to fracture. Not destroyed, but strained. It was not used to resistance like this. It was not used to enemies that adapted faster than it did. "Final defense line approaching," a technician warned. This was the last prepared position before core council space. If this failed, the heart of the galaxy would be exposed. The human admiral closed his eyes briefly. "Then open them." "Activate contingency," he ordered. Several alien commanders looked confused. "What contingency?" one asked. The answer appeared on the display. Hidden behind the final defense line were dozens of ships never shown before. Not warships. Carriers. Evacuation vessels. Medical fleets. Supply transports. "You planned for defeat," the counselor said quietly. "We planned for survival," the human replied. The shadow struck the final line. Every ship fired. Every shield burned. Human and alien vessels stood side by side. The energy in space reached levels never recorded. Then something changed. The shadow did not push forward. It began to withdraw. Slowly at first. Then faster. It pulled back into dark space. The chamber was silent. No cheers. No celebration. Everyone waited. Minutes passed. Sensors scanned deeply. Finally, confirmation came. The entity is retreating beyond detection range. The room exhaled. Not victory, but survival. The human fleets did not chase. They held position. Watching. Waiting. In the council chamber, the ancient counselor stood. For the first time, it said slowly, this council followed another species into war. It turned toward the three humans. "And we remain." The middle-aged human bowed his head slightly. "We remain together," he corrected. The counselor studied him. "You could have let us fall," it said. Yes, the human replied. Why didn't you? The younger woman answered softly. Because we live here too. Silence followed. Not fearful, respectful. The counselor raised its staff one final time. Let it be recorded. Humanity stands not as reckless expansionists, not as impatient youth. The chamber listened, but as guardians who prepare when others hesitate. The words echoed through history. The three humans turned to leave the chamber once more. This time, no one whispered. No one mocked. Delegates watched them with new understanding. Humanity did not seek control. Humanity did not seek praise. Humanity prepared. And when the galaxy was not ready, humanity was. Far beyond known space, in the darkness where stars were thin, something watched. The shadow had retreated, but it had not vanished. It had learned, and so had humanity. The next time it came, the galaxy would not face it alone.